Racers run overnight and begin to jockey for position in this episode of the Ultra Race Report. The 2015 Nutrimatix Badwater 135 was now underway, with all three waves having left the starting line. Harvey started out strong, with Grant close behind. There is a tight competition in the women's field, with Alyson Venti leading the way. At the 17-mile mark in the race sits Time Station 1 in Furnace Creek. The race officials were working hard logging times and manning the webcast, while crews from the first two waves awaited their racers. As racers came in, they will check in and then either spend time off their feet at the time station or just rehydrate and get on their way. And they continue into the night, where they will eventually reach sea level somewhere between here and the next time station at Stovepipe Wells. The next section of the race between Time Station 1 and 2 is 25 miles long, as it heads west along California 190 and rounds the northern edge of Tucky Mountain. Although it's relatively flat, runners will have to deal with small rollers as they bob above and below sea level. As morning breaks, runners approach Stovepipe Wells. From this point on, they will remain above sea level. Crews have lined up along the parking lot of the general store as they wait for their runners. They use this opportunity to resupply and reconfigure after a long night of supporting their racers. Tony Clark from Augusta, Kansas, was feeling good after his night of running.
I'm good. This is the best I've ever felt at this point in the race, for sure.
Tony is running for the descendants of Sparta in order to bring awareness to veteran suicide. He checked in with the time officials and went back to his crew. Tony's crew hooked him up with a cold coffee, and he was off again with a smile on his face to take on the day. The third wave of runners was thoroughly mixed in with the race field as Alyson Venti came through. She arrived at Time Station 2 with the lowest time of 6 hours and 41 minutes, followed by number 9, Nikki Wynd of Listerfield, Australia, at 6 hours and 59 minutes, and Amy Costa, third into Time Station 2 for the women in just over 7 hours. Several other runners came through the time station before it was time to start their climb. At about 1,000 feet of elevation, number 9, Lori Alexander, took some time off her feet with her crew as she cooled off with a bucket of ice water. Lori and other racers will climb over 4,000 feet over Town Pass and on their way to the next time station in Panamint Springs. Making their way to the summit, the elite runners have moved to the front of the pack and are now jockeying for position. Last year's champ, Harvey Lewis, was struggling to maintain his place with the leaders, but kept moving on with a determined spirit. The 2011 champion, Oswaldo Lopez, maintained a strong pace as he moved steadily up the hill. Course record holder Valmir Nunez was setting a fast pace. Holding his own amongst these Badwater legends was 27-year-old Pete Kostelnick from Lincoln, Nebraska. The summit of Town Pass is at 4,965 feet, and Valmir Nunez was the first of the front runners to reach it. Oswaldo Lopez, in traditional fashion, was in good spirits as he crossed the pass.
Badwater, baby!
And Alyson Venti, still holding her lead amongst the women, continued over the summit. From this point on, it's a 2,000-foot drop into the Panamint Valley as runners make their way across the dry lake bed in the hottest part of the day. For all the time splits, go to the Badwater website, where you can see the results for the 2015 Nutrimatix Badwater 135 and all of Adventure Corps' races. Make sure to like Ultra Racing Network on Facebook to get the latest news from Badwater and the ultra racing world. Check back in our next episode as the racers deal with extreme heat and wind, and the front runners jockey for position in the 2015 Nutrimatix Badwater 135.